It's that time again. Comic books and comic books and comic books. Look at this. DC to MAJ. Who knows what sort of treats are going to be found in here? You are a witness. Let's have a look.
A witness, huh?
Yes. DC Comics presents. Ah, what a great title. Superman teaming up with some often B-lister, but usually another DC guy. In this case, teaming up with himself, as it's teaming up with Superboy, but still.
Is that himself, or is it
Superman and Superboy? I mean, Superman was once Superboy, so. But that's okay. We'll let it slide. It's still a lot of fun. Kryptonite chains, Kryptonite rocket, all great stuff. This is Superman and Blue Devil. He was one of those B-listers that I was talking about, a character that was created in the 80s and apparently never really, I think he was kind of like a niche popular character, but it wasn't like one of the biggies. So, and that's it for that one. Now this is Death. This is Sandman's sister from the family of the Endless. This is really great stuff. This is called Death: The High Cost of Living. So even though Neil Gaiman himself is a bit of has a dubious history, to say the least, the high cost of living, that's a pretty good pun. I think he was very clever, I'll give him that. So, but this is Death: The High Cost of Living, #1. That's another copy of #1. That's #2. No, that's #3. Sorry. So yeah, it's good story and art. There were 2 miniseries. I forget what the other one was called. Let's see if I have some issues. I thought so. This is Death: The Time of Your Life. Another miniseries featuring Death, sister of Sandman from the Endless.
the Endless?
Yeah, the family is known as the Endless. He's Morpheus, the Lord of Dreams. She's the Lord of Death. And they have sisters and brothers that handle all, human concerns. It's really a fascinating, It's a fascinating mythology that he created. I mean, again, it's too bad he is what he is. But this is the Defenders from the 70s and 80s. I only have a handful of these. That's 112, which I think for a time was considered to be a valuable or a sought after issue. I'm not sure if it still is, but Defenders is another one of those titles that Marvel never really could seem to get a great readership on, although it did go 150 issues. So, I mean, it just never was one of my favorites. So who knows? Doctor Strange, that's #59. Doomsday +1, early art by John Byrne. This is from Modern Comics. I think it was also published by Charlton. I can't remember which was first, but yeah, so it's really excellent art. Of course, John Byrne's terrific and always has been. So this is just a very early example of his art. This is Doomsday Clock, the sequel to Watchmen, and you can see the design of the cover is similar to the way Watchmen was made. This is kind of integrating the rest of the DC universe into the Watchmen universe, because it was kind of separate up until this point, because Watchmen was supposed to be taking place in the real world, or at least a version of the real world. And so this, goes to great lengths. There's Lex Luthor, so, Doomsday Clock does a lot to get the DC universe. There's the Joker. This is #5. I think this might be Green Lantern.
Doomsday Clock, what is this, Ninjago?
Kind of, yeah. It's a Doomsday Clock, #10. So yeah, this is #7. So I have a bunch of those. This is DV8, another great pun.
That is funny.
By Warren Ellis. I can't remember what this was related to, one of the Image titles, but I can't remember which one. It might be Wildcats. But anyway, this is #2, and Warren Ellis is great, a writer. Another one who's had some accusations made against him, but still a great writer. This is DV8 #3. DV8 #4. That's #5, 6, 7, and 8. So I have 2 through 8. I think I might have #1 around here somewhere else, but I'm not positive about that. This is Earth X #4. This started, I can't remember, I guess it was Earth X was the first. It was a great miniseries, I think, that came out in the late 90s or early 2000s. And it was just, all of the characters that but it presented in different situations and different interpretations, and it was really excellent. And it had great Alex Ross covers, I think. So I think that's an Alex Ross cover. Sure looks like one. But yeah, the story was good too.
How do you suppose we find this planet X?
This is Earth X number 5, 6. That's number 7, and that's number 10. I think that's X-51, which is otherwise known as Machine Man, who was kind of the crux of the Earth X, if I remember correctly. But it's been a while since I've read this. And of course, there's the Wolfman inside the spacesuit, which is a tribute to John Jameson, J. Jonah Jameson's son, who became the Man Wolf. This is the Earth X sketchbook. So for you art heads out there, this is probably an excellent thing to look at. And this is Elektra, the miniseries number 1 by Brian Michael Bendis. So that was one of many times that they've tried to have an Elektra series, and I don't know if she ever had an actual ongoing, although I think she might have. But she's not one of those characters like Punisher and Wolverine, who I think was best left as a guest star, but they tried. Fantastic Four versus the X-Men, kind of inevitable to very popular franchises.
We've seen some of these before, I think, in previous videos.
I think they've been in different boxes, but in this case I have 1, 2, and 4. This is Fantasy Masterpieces, which is reprinting old Marvel stuff. This looks like it might even be reprinting Tales to Astonish. I can't remember. I think
that's Captain America and Red Skull.
Yeah, I think he was in Tales to Astonish. So this is reprinting old Marvel stuff, and this is an old issue even of itself. So yeah, there's definitely All Winners is probably from the 40s. So yeah, that's great stuff. Freaks. This is a Malibu Comics. And this is From Hell, which is Alan Moore's take on the Jack the Ripper story. That's number 10.
Oh, like Hell.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, but that's...
No,
that's the X-Men New Orleans.
But yeah, Jack the Ripper did sign his notes to the police from Hell.
Oh, okay.
Frontline.
I didn't remember that from BuzzFeed Unsolved.
Yeah, there's Fusion, which is Eclipse. This is Gate Crashers, which looks like it's signed by Mark Waid.
Ooh.
But I can't verify it. I don't know if there's a certificate in there or anything. So this is Geiger, which was a series that came out, and this is a 4th printing. So it just goes to show you, it was either very low print runs or very popular. So it's hard to say. This is number 1 again, 4th printing. This is number 2, and it doesn't say whether it's a first print, so it must be a first print. There's number 2 again. So yeah, I guess it's different covers. So yeah, I don't know much about Geiger, actually. I didn't actually read it. I just picked it up. There's Ghost Rider. This is the 2nd Ghost Rider series. And some G.I. Joe. I have many other G.I. Joe books. One of these days I'll make a video just of G.I. Joe, because I have a whole box of that. So, but this is G.I. Joe Order of Battle number 4. Gotham Central, very awesome series. Came out in the mid-2000s.
Does that involve Batman?
Yeah, it involves Batman. It's basically the Gotham police and how they view Batman, solving crimes for them.
Who's that on the cover?
I believe that her name is Montoya. So yeah, that was a great series. Gotham City Year 1 by Tom King, who had a long run on Batman. This is Green Lantern Annual number 1 by Grant Morrison, and I can't remember if this is season 1 or season 2. It's probably season 1 because it doesn't say anything about what season it is. So here's Gwenom versus Carnage.
Gwenom,
yes. Alternate universes where Gwen got the spider bite. The unbelievable Gwenpool, because they had to force Gwen into everything once they reestablished her as a character. Unbelievable Gwenpool with MODOK. Gwenpool with MODOK again.
And it appears to be a giant floating chicken egg with a face.
Yep. Havoc versus Havoc and Wolverine Meltdown. Walt Simonson. Great stuff. That's number 3, I believe. And that's number 4. Hellblazer. Now this, I think I've blathered on about Hellblazer a little bit in the past, but this is John Constantine, or Constantine, depending on whether you're British or American. But this is the original miniseries that came out after he was introduced in Swamp Thing. This is number 3, so this is fairly early in the Hellblazer run. Some really interesting stories here. 3 again. And this, of course, jumps to Hellblazer 41, which I think is the first issue that Garth Ennis did. Or is that 47? Oh, it's 47. So yeah, I think 41 was the first issue that Garth Ennis did, but still great stuff. And here, this is great stuff. Peter David Hulk versus X Factor. I think Todd McFarlane was still the artist here. And that's 337, so I have both of those. I have many more Hulks as well, so I'll do a Hulk video eventually too.
Like 337?
Yes. And this is the most recent iteration of the Hulk, I believe. Number 5 by Donny Cates. And there's number 8, 9, and it's number 10. So it says Legacy 777, I think. So they're pretty far up in that. So there's Iron Man Noir, which they had a whole bunch of noir titles. Spider-Man Noir, Iron Man Noir. I forget who the other ones were, but
I'm going to Steam Noir, the hippest coffee shop in Danville.
Doofenshmirtz. John Carter, Warlord of Mars. Edgar Rice Burroughs. So this was one of Marvel's licensed. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10. So I got a bunch. That's a Gil Kane art on the cover. Pretty cool. 15, 28. So this went on for a while. I don't think that's Gil Kane. But, Alan Moore, Judgment Day. He took over this series. This is Alpha. I think there's Alpha, 1, 2, and Omega. So this is the first issue.
No Beta or Gamma?
Nope. So yeah, really, Alan Moore took this over and really made some great stuff. This is Judgment Day Alpha and an alternating cover. That's Judgment Day 3, Final Judgment. So I guess I was wrong. Justice League 21. This was a kind of a spec issue. For some reason, there was something to do with this issue that might have made it more valuable.
Part of the Justice League.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what it was that made this one possibly a speculative treasure at one time, but I don't think it ever panned out, or at least if it did, I missed it. But Justice League Europe, excellent, wonderful, great stuff.
You will pay for your insolence.
So Justice League Europe, this is a follow-up to the great Justice League relaunch that Keith Giffen and J.M. DeMatteis did, and this is them in Europe, and it's just funny and well done all around. Very much, if you love good comic books, then you should be looking for Justice League and Justice League Europe by Giffen and DeMatteis. That's number 3. Number 4. I got a good run of this. Number 5. Number 6. This is hilarious. They're in Europe and they go to take French lessons because their embassy's in France, and then they wind up in the same class with a group of villains that are also taking the same class
for the same reason.
Yep. So mad wackiness ensues. Number 7.
So welcome to my new theme park, Rudeland. Or don't. I could not care less.
Mr. Men makes an appearance. Number 9. So I got a bunch of these. That's number 10. So I got 1 through 10 actually. So if you're looking, that's a good run. Justice League Midsummer's Nightmare by Mark Waid and Fabian Nicieza, or do we say Nicieza?
Nicieza probably.
Mage by the great Matt Wagner. This is number 13. So there were 15 issues. This is near the end. Major X.
Matt Wags, huh?
Yep. Rob Liefeld, number 2. This is Major X, number 2. This was kind of his return to Marvel after having been out of there for a while. Number 5.
Who is this again?
Rob Liefeld. Marvel Knights sketchbook, cool stuff. And Marvel Knights, number 2. This is by Chuck Dixon. Marvel Knights 3 features the Punisher. 4, I don't know who that is, but it's still Chuck Dixon. That is Cloak. No, that's Dagger of Cloak and Dagger. Doctor Strange. 9. So there were 2 iterations. This is Dixon also. That's Luke Cage, Daredevil, and Moon Knight. There's more of that. 13, that's Nick Fury. 14 is Nick Fury robotized or something, and with Black Widow and Dagger. That's number 15. So this is the second iteration, John Figueroa. And this is reprints. Marvel Superheroes, we've reprinted the Hulk. Marvel Tales, we've reprinted Spider-Man. There's more of those. There's the Max, which was by Sam Keith, who was actually an original artist.
Not to be confused with TJ Maxx, of course.
Yeah, the Max, he was a co-creator of the Sandman and lasted only 1 or 2 issues because he just felt it wasn't right for him. But that's the Max and Pitt crossover. This is Maze Agency, early art by Adam Hughes, fan favorite cover guy. Did some great stuff. This is like a mystery kind of thing. Maze Agency 3 and 4. So yeah, this is actual like comic book art by Adam Hughes as opposed to just cover art. So well worth checking out. That's it for that box. I hope you enjoyed that video, and there will be more to come. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.